Hello, I'm Janusz Lewiński and you're watching Break the Fake. They make them, we break them, and tell you everything you need to know. As Russia cranks up its sabotage game in Europe, because clearly burning bridges just wasn't enough, now they're lighting up logistics hubs, the Kremlin keeps everyone guessing about its next thrilling act of international delinquency. Meanwhile, in the hallowed halls of NATO, Poland's Radosław Sikorski, the country's foreign minister, has raised the alarm about Russian disinformation campaigns. After all, what's a democratic election without some good old-fashioned Kremlin meddling to spice things up? But wait, the plot thickens. Serbia's president Aleksandar Vučić has entered the chat with a dramatic warning. Putin won't hesitate to strike back. Is that a threat or a job application for a spot on the Russian state TV, Rossiya 1, for example? Or is it just Vučić trying to outdo Russia's own propaganda maestros at their own game? Well, who knows? But his audition tape is certainly looking strong.
They're gonna change their position not only on a tactical but a bit of a strategical level, which means that they will try to aim to target and to harm very much Russians regarding their ammo storages, but not only that. Oil resources, gas storages and everything else. If that happens, they still believe that Putin will not strike back, that he might hit very hard Ukraine, but not any of NATO countries. That's how I see the situation, and that's what I forecast, that's what I foresee, which you'll be able to see, to notice, to check it within month and a half.
One thing is clear. Europe is stuck in a reality show where Russia's the unhinged producer, Vučić is the over-eager understudy, and NATO just gets to play the skeptical audience. Stay tuned for the next episode, probably featuring a mysterious accident, probably involving critical infrastructure, as it always does, undersea cables, anyone? Then also an election scandal, think some Putin admirer exploding into action on TikTok. Sounds familiar? Bucharest, can you hear me? And of course, some good old-fashioned fear-mongering, because not a single week is going to pass without a nuclear warning from Russia. Probably Medvedev doing one of his usual rants. I guess this is what we're gonna get. Ramzan Kadyrov, Putin's loyal lapdog and self-proclaimed warrior poet, has truly outdone himself this time. In his latest theatrical performance, he offered a captured Ukrainian soldier a gun, suggesting he, and I quote, "die like a hero." How noble. Nothing screams warrior's honor quite like trying to stage a macabre show for propaganda. Unsurprisingly, the soldier declined Kadyrov's generous offer because, unlike his captor, he values life over cheap theatrics.
Лучше умер бы там, чем попасть в плен, если ты такой воин. Я тебе дам сейчас пистолет, застрелишь?
Нет.
Почему?
Не жить хочу.
Зачем? Война убивает же, ты же вышел убивать, умереть там. Я тебе дам пистолет, ты застрелишь себя там, умрешь как герой там.
Нет.
Нет, не хочешь, да? Да? Он хочет убивать, а сам умереть не хочет. Так не бывает. В войне убивают и умирают там.
Meanwhile, back in Grozny, a drone strike reportedly rattled the city, damaging the roof of Kadyrov's beloved regiment headquarters. Perhaps the drones were simply paying their respects to Kadyrov's unique contributions to warfare, like his brilliant idea to put Ukrainian POWs on rooftops as human shields. Of course, no Kadyrov monologue would be complete without a bizarre Elon Musk cameo. Ramzan, ever the global influencer, claims he jokes with Musk online, critiquing Cybertrucks as unfit for battle. Okay, so how did the Cybertruck come into this? You may remember how a while ago Kadyrov posed with one of those angular pickup trucks complete with a mounted machine gun, not standard equipment, I suppose. And let's not forget his heartfelt plea to Donald Trump to prove he's a man by ending the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. Kadyrov's faith in Trump's machismo is as touching as it is delusional. Wouldn't be surprised if Ramzan starts selling NFTs next, like Trump once did. The machine gun Cybertruck Wizard one would no doubt be the rarest and most expensive of them all. Ah, the majestic ruble, a currency that defies the laws of economics, gravity, and occasionally common sense. With the dollar now costing a whopping 105 rubles and the euro at 109, the Kremlin has assured its citizens that everything is perfectly fine. Who needs stable currency when you have patriotism and state-sponsored delusions? Now, official statements insist that ordinary Russians won't feel the impact. Sure, because inflation must be too afraid to show up in the motherland, too afraid probably of falling out of the window or something like that. But give it 3 months and the price of bread might start looking suspiciously like the price of caviar. Economists, those pesky truth-tellers, are already predicting a price tsunami while Moscow's propaganda machine plays its usual symphony of denial.
Для экспортеров это, конечно, хорошо. Но вся проблема-то сейчас не в том, что экспорт не получает или там получает недостаточно рублей, а в том, что сложности с расчетами. Вот это надо решать. А хорошо известно, что пока у нас как бы 30% импорта, 30% в продуктах питания это импорт или составляющие, не готовая продукция, а, скажем, некоторые компоненты, которые позволяют пищевой промышленности производить продукцию.
Of course, for Putin and his elites, this is just another day in their parallel universe, where sanctions are a blessing and economic collapse is merely a Western myth. Meanwhile, the average Russian is left wondering if they should spend their rubles now or use them to wallpaper their kitchen later. But fear not, according to the Kremlin, a weak ruble is a strong ruble, or something like that. After all, who needs a stable economy when you have Oreshnik missiles and national pride, right? Russia, that esteemed member of the UN Security Council, the global body supposedly tasked with, maintaining peace and security. Yet here we are, watching Russia's representative laugh, during a discussion about a missile strike that killed Ukrainian citizen Yevgenia Basilevich and her 3 daughters. A chilling reminder that the fox not only guards the henhouse, but also mocks the carnage it leaves behind. And this is the same Russia that lectures the world on peace, while reducing cities to rubble. A permanent Security Council member behaving more like a permanent bad joke. But hey, why not chuckle at human tragedy when your country's global brand is hypocrisy and destruction?
Russian missile took 4 lives from one family. Yevgenia Basilevich and her 3 daughters were gone in a moment. The youngest, Emilia, was just 6. We can hardly imagine their father's sorrow. Those weren't military targets. Those were homes many kilometers far from the front lines. Ordinary people, children. Some things can no longer be changed. Russia will never be able to alter its authorship from the atrocities committed in Ukraine.
This is a stark reminder of just how Russia has cast itself out beyond the boundaries of civilized culture. In ordinary circumstances, any kind of situation that involves casualties is no laughing matter, at least not in Russia. And yet, please note how whenever any country removes some ugly Lenin statue or another Soviet-era eyesore, Russia always chimes in and says that getting rid of this symbolic violence is in fact offensive to the countless fallen troops of the Red Army. So, yeah, they do like referring to values and morality, except it's all 100% cynical and purely selective. Innocent Ukrainians suffering in war is somehow funny to them. But mention how the Moskva became a submarine, womp womp, and they will be up in arms about how cruel and heartless we are. But hey, that's Russian brain rot propaganda we're talking about. Don't ever expect any degree of consistency. And with this, we conclude this episode of Break the Fake. Please stay with us here on TVP World for more latest news and updates.